Hello everyone, this is Vinita and welcome to Hopeful Turns. In this video, I'll be sharing with you the tutorial of this Crochet Rosebud Beanie. Now, this beanie has been made in a child size, so this will fit from 5 to 10 plus years. But in the video, I'll be explaining how you can adapt the same pattern to other sizes also. This is completely customizable. The only thing that you would need is the head circumference of the person that you want to make it for. So you can make it in any sizes. And this beanie has been made from the brim upwards. So we'll start in this side and go up. So that is how the construction of the beanie is. And if you see, there's a lot of textures going. So there is your rosebud rose and other textured rose also. It might seem complicated, but it is a very simple pattern. And as you can see, it has been made in shaded yarn. So there was light pink, pink and dark pink all going on together. But you can definitely go ahead and make it in one solid color, or what you can do is you can keep a base color and just make the rosebud rose in a contrast color. So you can just go ahead and play with the colors, and I hope you will like it. So for this particular beanie here, I have used a 5 mm crochet hook and a medium 4 weight yarn. Now you can use it with any yarn that you have. You can use a DK weight, medium weight or an Aran weight. I'm not very sure how it will turn out if you use a very chunky weight yarn, because I think that the rosebuds might turn up to be quite bulky. So I might not suggest that you use the chunky weight yarn, but anything from DK to your Aran weight will work fine. Just use the recommended size hook. So that's the only thing that you will require. Here I have used something called the Ganga Cosmos, which is quite available here. And this is actually a 100-gram ball, and this much, how much is left. This is for the child size. So you would require a hook, a yarn, then you will require a darning needle, because we will stitch this up at the end. And if you want to attach a pom-pom, you can go ahead and you can attach a pom-pom or for pom-pom also, and a pair of scissors. So these are the few things that you would require. Now before getting on to the video, a small request. If you're new to my channel and if you like what you see, please do consider subscribing, and please hit on the bell button if you like it. Alright, now we'll get on with the tutorial. So we'll start this pattern with a slip knot. So I'll make a slip knot first and then make 9 chain stitches. Okay, so I'll start with 9 chain stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now this 9 chain stitch, this is the width of the brim. Now if you are looking for a much wider brim, you might have to increase the number of chain stitch. If you want a less wider brim, you might have to reduce the number of chain stitches. Okay, so we'll start our first row. I'm going to skip the first stitch and work a single crochet in the second stitch and a single crochet in the remaining stitches. So I'll just put 1 single crochet in every stitch. So once I finish this row, I will have a total of 8 single crochet. So like I said, if you want a much wider brim, you can increase the number of chain stitches and you will end up with that many single crochet, one less than the number of chain stitch that you have put. So here I have finished my row 1. Okay, now we'll move on to the row 2. So to start the row 2, we'll chain 1 and then turn my work. Now again I'm going to make single crochet, but this time in the back loops. So if you see, we have a V-stitch, a front loop and a back loop. So I'll be working my single crochet in the back loops. So the chain 1 that I have put, I'll skip that, go into the first stitch in the back loop and make a single crochet. Go to the next stitch in the back loop, make a single crochet. So like this, in every stitch I'll make a single crochet. So here I have finished my second row also. We will start the third row. From here onwards, the pattern is the same. You have to chain one and turn your work and again make single crochet in the back loops. So the chain one that I have put, I'll skip that, go into the very first stitch in the back loop and make a single crochet and a single crochet in every other stitch. Here also I'm working in the back loops. So I will be having 8 single crochet in every row worked in the back loops. Now this I'm going to make for a child size. Now the child size, the head circumference is 20 inches. So I'll keep making these single crochet row till about say 16 to 17 inches. And then what I'll do is I'll stretch my work and see if it is able to stretch it to 20 inches. So depending on your yarn and hook and your tension, you might have to make a number of rows. Just check whatever row that you are making, you are able to stretch it to the head circumference for the person that you are making for. Alright, so here I'll just make single crochet row and meet you once I have the required number of rows. So here I have completed a few rows and my band is ready. Now I'm going to join this. Now before joining, I forgot to mention that the number of rows that you make should be in even numbers. You don't have to count. The easiest way to check whether you have done even or odd rows is that your tail end and your working yarn should be opposite direction. So if you check it like this, if these are lying in the opposite way, it means that you are on the even row. If this is still here, it means that you are on the odd row. So just make sure that this is in the opposite direction. It means that you have an even number of row. Now we'll join this. Okay. So to join this, what I'm going to do is, this was my last single crochet. I'll do a chain one and keep both the ends like this, and I'm going to slip stitch it. Okay. So I'm going to the first stitch here and the very first stitch here, and then I'm going to slip stitch. So one, come to the next stitch. You can see that I'm going through both the loops, the front and the back, and the front and the back of this one also, and make a slip stitch. So like that I'll make a total of 8 slip stitches to finish off this band. Now if you have done with a different number, you might have to do that many number of slip stitches. So I'll just finish this off. Alright, so here I have made 8 slip stitches here. I'll just make one chain. Now since this is like this, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn it around. So I just flip this like this so that it is hidden and it just merges together. Since this is not a solid color, you can find the difference that it is directly going to pink. Okay, so this completes our band. Now we'll start working on our main part. So now we'll start our round 1. Now round 1 is a half double crochet row. Now if you see your band like this, you can see there are 2 ridges here. So we are going to place 2 half double crochet between these 2 ridges. So if you see, this is 1, this is 2. In between there are 2 rows. So 1 half double crochet will go here, 1 will go on top of this one. So there are next 2 ridges, 1 will go here, 1 half double crochet will go up. So between the 2 ridges, we are going to place 1 half double crochet each. Okay. So we'll start. So before we flipped over, we had actually made chain 1. I'm going to put 1 more. So actually I'm going to start with 2 chain stitches. Alright, and in the very first stitch here, I'm going to make a half double crochet. So to make a half double crochet, you yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop. You have 3 loops, yarn over and pull through all the 3 loops. So this here is my first half double crochet. Now you can see there are two ridges here. So one half double crochet will go here and one will go here. Sorry, this here is my first half double crochet here, and the next one will go on top of this side. Okay, now one here, one here. So one half double crochet in this part and one will go on top of this row. So here I'm going to place my half double crochet. So like this, I'm just going to put one half double crochet on top of each row. So the best way to see is, you can see that between these two ridges you place two half double crochet. So one on top of this row and the other on top of this row. All right, so like this I'll just complete one row of half double crochets. So here I have finished one round of half double crochet. Now we'll finish this round off. Now to finish this round, if you remember, we had started with chain 2. I'm going to ignore that chain 2 and directly slip stitch into the first half double crochet. So this here is my first half double crochet. Here I have my chain 2. I'm going to skip that and go directly into the first half double crochet and slip stitch. All right, so this completes our round 1. Now round 2 is also a half double crochet row, but I'm going to make a small change into it. So if you see it, I just want to show you how it will be. So if you see like this, you can see two stitches like a V. You have your front loop, you have your back loops, and if you flip it a little bit, you can see another loop going here, the third loop or your bumps. So we'll be working a half double crochet in the third loops or your bumps. So just see like this, you can have a front loop, you have a back loop, and just flip it a little bit, you can find a third loop. Okay, so this is where we are going to. So here if you see, there is a V kind of a thing. So in this loops only we are going to work a half double crochet. So what it will give you is, you will get a V stitch kind of, it will give you a textured stitch. This V will be quite prominent. I'll show you how it will look. Okay, so we have finished this round and we will start again with 2 chain stitch. So 1, 2. Now this chain 2 that we are doing, I'm not going to count it as a half double crochet. It is just going to act as a filler stitch, which will kind of help in hiding a seam little bit. Okay, so once you have your chain 2, we'll start our half double crochets. So flip it over. So here this is our first stitch, first half double crochet. You have a front loop, back loop, and a third loop, which is here. This is the third loop here. So there I'm going to do a half double crochet. So half double crochet, you yarn over first, go into the third loop here, and then finish off your half double crochet like this. Come to the next stitch. So if you see it like if you hold it like this, you cannot see the third loop. You have to turn it around a little bit. So here this is front, back, and this is your third bump. So put a half double crochet here like this. Again half double crochet into the third loop like so. So what this gives is, you can see both the V stitches, both the front and back loop perfectly aligned. So usually what we do is, we usually insert like this, so this gets hidden, but here we are going to keep this in the front and work in the back loops. So I'll show you once again. So you yarn over and insert your hook in the third loop and then complete your half double crochet. So like this, I'll just complete this round also, making one half double crochet in the back bumps. So you can see this is how the pattern is. So I'll just finish this round and meet you. So here I have finished my round 2 also, and you can see a very beautiful pattern forming. Okay, now we'll finish off this round. Now to finish off this round, I'll skip the chain 2 that was there and go directly into the first half double crochet and slip stitch. So this completes our round 2. We'll start round 3. Round 3 we are going to start with chain 1, and the round 3 here is the rosebud row. So whenever you are on a rosebud row, you have to turn your work. So far we have not turned our work. This is the first time we are turning our work. and we will start making the rosebuds. So I'll skip the first stitch that was here, not the chain one, but where the chain one goes. I'm going to skip one stitch and work the first rosebud in this stitch, the second stitch. So to make that, I'll place a slip stitch, okay, and in the same stitch I'll make a double crochet. So yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop. You have 3 loops, yarn over, pull through the first 2, yarn over, pull through the second 2. So I have placed a double crochet. Now in the same stitch I'll again place a slip stitch. So make a slip stitch in the same stitch. So to make a rosebud, I'm going to make slip stitch, double crochet, slip stitch all in one stitch. Once you have that, make chain 1. You skip the next stitch and in the next one again place a rosebud. So for a rosebud stitch, this is what I like to do. So I have made a chain 1, I am skipping 1. In the next stitch, I'll make a slip stitch. I'll make a double crochet. And again, in the same stitch, I'll make a slip stitch. Like this. Then I'll make chain 1. I'll skip 1 and again place a rosebud. Now if you look like this from the front, you can see a beautiful rosebud getting formed. Okay, so that is why we have to turn our work whenever we are going to do our rosebuds. I'll do it once again. So I have made chain 1. I'll skip 1 and again place a slip stitch, double crochet, slip stitch all in the next stitch. So skipping 1 stitch, come to the next stitch, make a slip stitch, a double crochet and a slip stitch all in one stitch. So the pattern is very simple. You make a rosebud stitch, you chain 1, you skip 1, again make a rosebud stitch. So this is the pattern that I'll be following, and I'll make one full round of this stitches. So you make a rosebud, you skip 1, you chain 1, again place the rosebud stitch. Rosebud stitch is nothing but slip stitch, double crochet, slip stitch, all done in one stitch. Okay, so I'll just finish this pattern and then meet you. So here I have finished my round 3 also. Okay, so this was my very last rosebud. So it was slip stitch, double crochet and slip stitch. After that I'm going to make chain 1. We had already skipped 1 stitch before making the first rosebud. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go directly into my first rosebud and slip stitch. So this finishes my round 3. Okay, now we are going to just repeat round 1, 2, 3 over and over again. So I'll just show you once again. So what we'll do is we will start with a half double crochet row. So I'm going to chain 1 and then turn my work. Now we will make 2 half double crochet row just in the front without turning, and then after that we'll make this row, and when we are making the rosebud row we'll turn around. Okay, so we'll start a half double crochet row here. So here it is a chain 1. Now if you see, there is a chain 1 gap, there is a rosebud, then a chain 1 gap, there is a rosebud. So we will place our first half double crochet in the chain 1 gap here. So insert and make a half double crochet here. Then we are going to place a half double crochet on top of your rosebud. So if you see here, there are 2 loops. So yarn over, insert your hook, and you can catch hold of 2 loops and make a half double crochet like this. So this remains intact and we are catching hold of the back loops and making a half double crochet. Next, make a half double crochet in the chain 1 gap. You will definitely get a chain 1 gap. If you remember, we had chain 1 and skip 1. So there is a gap here. So you make a half double crochet here. Next half double crochet you have to make on top of your rosebud. So yarn over, insert your hook, and then catch hold of 2 loops that is there like this and make a half double crochet. So like this I can complete making 1 row of half double crochet. So 1 half double crochet will go in the chain 1 gap and 1 half double crochet will go on top of your rosebud. So like this I'll just complete 1 row of half double crochet. Alright, so I'll just finish this round and meet you. So here I have reached the end of the fourth round. So the very last stitch is a half double crochet in the chain one space. We had started the round with a half double crochet in the rosebud stitch. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'll just go directly into the first stitch here and then slip stitch. So this completes our round 4. All right, so this is how this looks. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to repeat these rows over and over again. So here I have a half double crochet row. So next row is a half double crochet row but worked in the back loop. So this was a normal one. Now the next row will be a half double crochet again. So this was a half double crochet. Next one will be a half double crochet but working in the back bumps. After that I'm going to put the rosebud stitch. So this is what I'm going to repeat. So I just want to show you. This was round 1, this was round 2, this was round 3. Round 3 is worked whenever you turn your work, you have to work the round 3. After that, round 4 is nothing but round 1. Next row will be the round 2, and after that it will be the rosebud row. So this I'm going to repeat over and over again. So the next round, as I have said, is a half double crochet row but worked in the back bumps, and then you have to put the rosebud stitch. After that you have to again repeat row 1, 2, 3. So this I'm going to make for a 5 to 12-year-old child. So I'm going to repeat this till this from the brim it measures around 5.5 inches. If you're going to make for a teen, you have to make the width, or you have to repeat this till it reaches 6.5, and if you're making for an adult size, you have to repeat this till the width is about 7.5. So depending on who you're making, you have to repeat the rows over and again. So 1, 2, 3, these are the 3 rows. So one row is over. Next is another half double crochet but worked in the back bumps, and then the rosebud stitch. So I'll just finish this till the width is around 5.5 inches. So here I have worked a few rows, and if I have to measure this from the brim, it is not 5.5, it's almost 5.5. It has not reached 5.5. So whenever you're making, just as I said, for a child it can lie between 5 to 5.5. For a teen, 6 to 6.5, and 7 to 7.5 for adult. Don't go beyond that 7.5 limits and all. And you should be ending in the half double crochet row, the second half double crochet row, because we are going to start the decreasing from the rosebuds row. So I have done my 2 half double crochet, and the width I'm going to measure till my second half double crochet row. We'll start the decreasing from the rosebud stitches. All right, so sorry, this was my very last half double crochet row here, and I'm going to slip stitch here. Now we'll start the decreasing with the rosebud rows. So I'm going to chain 1, and since this is the rosebud row, I'm going to turn my work. All right, now we'll start the rosebud stitches. So skip the first stitch where we had put the chain 1 and go directly into the second stitch and make the rosebud, which is slip stitch, a double crochet, and a slip stitch, all worked in the same stitch like this. And since we are going to decrease, I'm not going to put a chain 1. Okay, so I'm not doing the chain 1 thing, but I'm going to skip the next stitch and make a rosebud here. So without doing the chain 1, I'm coming directly into the next stitch, skipping 1 stitch. I'm putting a slip stitch in the next stitch, then a double crochet and a slip stitch, all worked in the same stitch. So this is my second rosebud. Okay, no chain 1 here because it's a decreasing round. So without doing the chain 1, I'm going to skip 1 and then make again a rosebud stitch, which is slip stitch, double crochet and the slip stitch. So like this I can finish the pattern here. So this is same as the previous round. It's just that I'm not doing the chain 1 and I'm doing the rosebud stitches. So here I have finished my first decrease round. Now we'll do the half double crochet round. So here I have slip stitch. I will turn my work okay, and do the half double crochet row. We'll start with 2 chain stitch, 1, 2, and here it will be 1 half double crochet and half double crochet 2 together stitch. All right, so this is my chain 2. Into the first stitch here I'm going to place the normal half double crochet like this. Now in the next 2 rosebud stitch I'm going to do a half double crochet 2 together stitch. So for that I'm going to yarn over. I'll insert my hook in the stitch like this and then pull up a loop. I have 3 loops. I'll insert my hook into the next puff stitch, sorry, not puff stitch, the rosebud stitch, and then pick up a loop. I have 4 loops. I'll yarn over and pull my work through all the 4 loops like this. So this is half double crochet 2 together stitch. So this is what I'm going to repeat in this row. 1 half double crochet and a half double crochet 2 together stitch. So into the next stitch I'm going to place a half double crochet. So yarn over, insert your hook and then make a normal half double crochet like this. All right. Then using these 2 rosebud stitches I'm going to do a half double crochet 2 together stitch. So for a 2 together stitch, yarn over, insert your hook and pull up a loop. Do not finish the half double crochet. Instead insert your hook into the next stitch and then pull up a loop. You have 4 loops. Yarn over and pull through all the 4 loops like this. So like this I'm just going to repeat this round. I'm going to make a half double crochet and a half double crochet 2 together stitch. All right, I'll just do this and meet you. So here I have finished this row as well. Now for me it has come perfectly because my last stitch was a decrease and then it followed by the 1 half double crochet. Now in case this is not the case, it's perfectly okay if you have if you are on a half double crochet and the next also when you're slip stitching it's a half double crochet. Don't worry, it doesn't make a difference because we are anyway it's just going to be on the top. You'll not be able to see much. So it's perfectly okay if you're not ending on a half double crochet decrease. It's not a big issue. All right, so that was the end of our next this round. We'll start another half double crochet round. So again I'm going to start with 2 chain stitches here. All right, and here I'm going to do is 1 half double crochet and 1 half double crochet decrease in the back bumps. So I'll do that. So first I'm going to again start with the half double crochet, but again see the 3rd loop that is there. So 1 second, I'll just keep it like this. Take this loop here and make a half double crochet like this. Okay, now using the next 2 stitches I'm going to do a half double crochet decrease. So yarn over, insert your hook in the 3rd loop and pull up a loop like this, and you're going to do a decrease. So you insert your hook into the next stitch, 3rd loop, pull up a loop. You have 4 loops and do a half double crochet decrease. So this is the pattern I'm going to follow. 1 half double crochet followed by a half double crochet decrease. I'll show once again. So yarn over. Now this is going to be a normal half double crochet like this, and using these 2 stitches I'm going to do a half double crochet decrease. So this is your half double crochet decrease. So you are just closing up your beanie. All right, so I'll just finish this round. Half double crochet and a half double crochet decrease worked in the back loops. Sorry, not in the back loops, but the 3rd loop. So here I have finished that round and I am left with so much of a gap. Now I'm going to do one last round, one more decrease round. So what I'm going to do for that is I'm going to do a half double crochet decrease in every stitch. All right, so I'll start with 2 chain stitch, 1, 2, and then do a half double crochet decrease. So yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, insert your hook into the next stitch, pull up a loop, and yarn over and pull through all the loops that is there. Okay, now next one is again a half double crochet decrease. So for that I'm going to do the half double crochet decrease. Like that in every stitch I'm going to do the half double crochet 2 together stitch. So just complete this making half double crochet 2 together stitch and then slip stitch into the first half double crochet decrease. So here I have reached the end of this round, and what I'm going to do is I'll just skip the chain 2 that was there and go directly into the first half double crochet decrease and then slip stitch. Okay, so you have a very tiny gap here. Now I'll just pull my yarn off and then cut it. This should be enough, and cut your yarn. Now if you see, there is a very tiny gap here. Now I'm going to stitch this around. So I'll take a darning needle and first of all thread it in. So here I have threaded the needle in and I'm going to stitch this gap. So what I'm going to do is I'll just go round like this through all the stitches from inside out like this. Go once around the circle through just one loop and then pull tightly. So whatever gap is there, that is closed. Now if you want to attach a pom-pom, you can use the same thread to attach it, but since I'm not going to do that, I'm just going once again and do a knot here. That should be enough. If you want, you can do 2-3 more knots. Now I'll just hide in the yarn. You can go like this and just hide it in. Go through a couple of stitches, and once you feel that it is secured, you can just cut it off. I think this should be enough. Just cut my yarn, and there you have it. So our beanie is ready. It's a very easy pattern, and I hope you like this. And if you like this, please do not forget to press on the like button, and if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing. See you in the next video. Until then, bye. Thank you for watching.